totul s-a sfârșit de când m-ai părăsit. Spuneai că doar pe mine tu mă ai, iubirea mea. Acum totul ai spulberat, de lângă mine ai plecat. De ce ai plecat și m-ai lăsat? Afară e frig și totul s-a sfârșit de când m-ai părăsit. Iar afară e frig și totul s-a sfârșit de când m-ai părăsit. Să mă înțelegi și ți-a fost mai ușor să pleci. De ce ai plecat, iubirea mea? Totul-i pustiu în jurul meu, iar eu văd numai chipul tău. De ce ai plecat, iubirea mea? Afară e frig și totul s-a sfârșit de când m-ai părăsit. Iar afară e frig și totul s-a sfârșit de când m-ai părăsit. Afară e frig și totul s-a sfârșit de când m-ai părăsit. Iar afară e frig și totul s-a sfârșit de când m-ai părăsit.
If you were wondering what I'm doing at a hotel, I'm actually staying in Dallas tonight. Tomorrow is the final shoot on my freelance gig, but we're going to start really early, and I really didn't want to make that drive in the morning. So I've got a hotel here. This is where I'm going to be staying tonight, and we're going to make good use of this time, and we're going to talk about photo assignments in just a second. This is the Fairmont Hotel, which is an old hotel in downtown Dallas. Been here forever. It's a chain across the U.S., but there are only a few of them. They're probably most famous for the San Francisco location. That's where Tony Bennett, I think, first sang I left my heart in San Francisco. I got upgraded to this sort of office suite kind of thing. So, you know, conference room in the middle. We're going to make good use out of that in a minute when we do photo assignments. I got 2 giant beds, which is way awesome. Decent sized bathroom. But the coolest part of this whole thing, and there's a lot of glare going on, but check out this view of downtown Dallas.
Je call, I fall. There's a legacy between us. We grow, we go, but in the middle.
Okay, it is Monday, and we need to talk about photo assignments. So your assignment for this week is going to be on doing composite images. Now, in the last video, I showed you one technique where you can shoot a series of digital images in a panorama type fashion and stitch them together. And there's a number of ways you can do this, and I'll come back to that in a second. But this is just one approach to how you could do a composite image. Doing a bunch of stitching in Lightroom or Photoshop is not going to be as practical for people who want to shoot film. It's going to be very difficult to control. But that is not the only way you can do a composite image. In fact, if you're shooting film, or particularly instant film, I would recommend you experiment shooting a scene and making a composite image that ends up being kind of the sum of all of its parts. So for instance, you can have frame lines. That's okay. Maybe what you do is you stand in one spot and you do a landscape of a bunch of Polaroids and you just put them down on a sheet of paper and then shoot that, and then that's your submission. That's another way you could do a composite image. And if you really want to be creative about it, I've seen really interesting uses that photographers have made doing portraits of different types of angles and stuff that all come together to form the final portrait. There's a lot of different things you can do with this, and the sky's the limit. It is up to you. I do want to mention a few technical issues because some questions arose in the comments on that last video that I did on doing a stitched digital composite. Mainly, the thing you want to remember, and the key to getting these to work correctly, is the algorithm that Lightroom or Photoshop sees to stitch these together needs to see as much consistency as possible with some overlap. And so I had questions about, should I shoot manual focus or autofocus? Absolutely shoot manual focus, because what you don't want to do is have something shift. In fact, you want to have the entire camera in manual if you can. Any kind of focus shift or exposure shift or even heavy vignetting is going to work against you, and it's going to make it really difficult. And I've even had it fail where Lightroom just basically says, I don't have enough information to stitch these together. So attention to detail is extremely important on the capture end of things. And then once you get this into Lightroom, another trick that I find that really helps with all this, because I mentioned if you're shooting Fuji or if you're shooting Panasonic, you don't have the option of profiles for lenses in Lightroom. But if you are shooting on Sony, Canon, Nikon, what I would do is I would apply the lens profiles, I would apply your color profiles, and then go ahead.
Hastasıyız dede.
Ses ver Adana, zirveden selam. Durmak yok omi, patlamaya devam. Yok bundan sonra size sigara filan. Uçuyor yıldızlara müptezel bayan. Ses ver Adana, zirveden selam. Durmak yok omi, patlamaya devam. Yok bundan sonra size sigara filan. Uçuyor yıldızlara müptezel bayan. Harmanım, baba nerede çarşafım? Gördüğüm bu paketler benim dermanım. Hoppa yavaşça açıldı fermanım. Sakın kaçma buraya gel la kezbanım. Adana çocuğu aga şehrimin delisi. Olay büyük kardeş mevzu kendisi. Plaka 01 korkumuz dinle. Yazmak için yine yuttun bence. Hey torbacı bana versene borç. Olmaz ama valla malları peşin satıyoruz. Bu yüzden babamın cüzdanını çalıyoruz. Akşam olunca dayak yemeye başlıyoruz. Ben yazınca mı gol neşemiz yerinde. Siz ayrı tripte bense düşüşte. Halüs görüyorum ben bu sahnede. Kaç paket sigara bitti lan o kahvelerde. Hapı yutmayınca dönmüyor tekeri. Tribe sokma beni, sikerim beni. Gidin heyecan abinize selam söyleyin. Tahtını sikiyorum ben de böyleyim. Demiş Adana merkezin sözler çalıntı. Moru kim kimden yaptı alıntı. O şişko menajerin ona söylüyorum. Diss atmadan önce adam gibi uyarıyorum. Sevenlerim bana şimdi desin eri. Ben o söze oluyorum sanki deli. Bize bulaşmayın biz de fites atmayız geri. Bize diss atanlara atıyoruz seri. Sek rakı yok dayı hani bize sigara. Memurlar geliyor yat yere yat yat. Nezarete düştü al bir sigara yak. 10 dakika sonra baba ifaden alınacak. Sokakta yine siren sesleri. Mik başına tetikçi kaldır elleri. Kopmaya devam baba ayık bizleri. İtinale yazıyoruz evet sizleri. Ders matematik baba kafam trilyon. Bana soru sormayın ben hiç bilmiyorum. Ben nerede olduğumu bir an şaşırıyorum. Hocam diyor evladım gelsen kaşınıyorum. 70'lik daha bu çocuk Kafası güzelken banka soymadı. Bu olay bitmedi, mevzu olmadı. Bir sigara çözün, bana neşem kalmadı. Ses ver Adana, zirveden selam. Durmak yok omi, patlamaya devam. Yok bundan sonra size sigara filan. Uçuyor yıldızlara müptezel bayan. Keyya, isyan tetik. Burası Adana Seyhan. Yükselen sesler rekord. Burası Sarı Emzalı. Yeah. Vedo. Yemek getir hacım amına.
Renee Scholler from Yukon, Oklahoma sent this in. I took this photo at a bank near where I live in Oklahoma. This is their sign. It says, Interbank, F all your needs. Well, if you need a safe deposit box, they'll tell you where to stick your valuables. At least that bank can honestly say that they treat you like family, so that's nice. This is from Kip Wilson from Louisville, Kentucky. My girlfriend pointed this place out to me when I went to visit her. Drop-a-tot childcare. That is a terrible name. Drop-a-tot. That's almost as bad as this one. Hop on Pop Nursing Home. Right. That's not right. Rebecca Caponetto from Overland Park, Kansas. This photo was taken on Easter in the mid-90s. I didn't like my little sister when we were growing up, so at the last second I pushed her out of the way. Not all the way. If you look in the left-hand corner, she's still sort of... Her foot's in there. I think she has a bright future ahead of her working at Drop-a-Tot, that girl. Leg just sticking up like that. Christy Dupere, I believe, from